Team of Flooring Artists, what's happening? We are live. Come in. I see we got some hellos. Type your name and where you're from in the chat so I know that you can hear me. And I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get right into it. All right, what's up? What AI Misfit? What's happening? All right, here we go. Let's get into it, y'all. Hey, hello. See what is art? What's going on? All right, so I know you are here because you want to learn how to sell art online. All right, so like Tierra right here, she sold this piece for 2K to Galactic Jellies. What's up, Ethan from Dallas? Jasmine said to Prince to keep on giving. We also going to talk a little bit about Jasmine and her story and how she sold over $15,800 in only 20 days. Type yes if you like to sell over 15K in 20 days. All right, you see Miss Joe Claire got that cash on the table. Jasmine also set a goal to make 5K in a month, and she did that in the first week. I'm excited for you to be here as well, all right? Man, I'm going to talk about how Tierra helped her kids make some money selling art at 2, 5, and 7. You see King Art with the cash on the table. Another $2,000 sale by Jonte. All right, type yes in the chat if you're here because you're ready to sell some art online. See Jeff from Mississippi. All right, they say yes with the 20K in 20 days. What's up, Joe, with the 2K sale? All right, good. Y'all rolling in. I see some yeses coming through. All right, so let's get into it, all right? So, man, type yes in the chat if you like to have an automated way for collectors to come to you instead of you chasing them. All right, type yes in the chat. So, Miss Anitra, when we set up her automated collector system, she sent a message in the middle of the night. She said, Sherez, I truly apologize. And normally I wouldn't send a message this late, but I couldn't hold back the excitement. 19 total collector opportunities and 2 scheduled collector calls. Then she said the message the following day. She said, by the way, your girl is up to 37 leads, 3 collector appointments, and lots of great comments about what inspired them to download. Type yes. I see the yeses coming through. See the yeses flying through. What's up, Russ, Jeff? It's too cool. Miss Anna, what's going on? All right. And so Jasmine, I was talking about her earlier. She's an affluent artist as well. And so let me share what she shared about just the transformation that happened in her art career within 1 year. So she said, let me put this in perspective for you guys. For years, I gave away my art for free. I joined Affluent Artist January last year. 1 year ago, I was still selling most of my original art for $200, and my biggest sale this time last year was $500 to a hospital. This month, if I made no more money for the next 10 days, I would have total to make $15,800. I am floored. I never thought this was possible for me. All right, type yes in the chat if you'd like to accomplish something like this. All right, she said, thank you, Sherez, for giving us the tools to make this passion into a business and for investing your time into my life, all right? And to the other affluent artists, it's the community that fuels the fire, all right? So if you're here right now and you type yes in the chat, my goal for you is simple. I want to help you become an affluent artist, okay? If you are a new artist, you'll get a step-by-step blueprint on how to create art that sells itself on Instagram so you can become an affluent artist that collectors love to buy and tell everyone about. If you are a master artist among us, you'll get the affluent artist secrets on how to smoothly transition to selling your art online at higher prices, keep more of your money, and get the worldwide recognition and status you deserve from the art industry, all right? Then every affluent artist gets access to the brand new artwork app that makes it simple to sell your art and keep collectors buying over and over again, all right? And so this new opportunity is key to your desire to consistently sell your art online, and it's only achievable by becoming an affluent artist. And so if I help you become an affluent artist so you can make more money selling your art, will you promise to spend a little bit of that with me and my company in the future? Just type yes in the chat for me, all right? And so my name is Sherez, all right? And like many of you, I've been an artist my entire life. So in that top picture in the top left, that's little Sherez, man. When I was a kid, I used to love drawing and painting. I used to draw all the characters on the cartoons, the cereal boxes. I remember drawing the Ninja Turtles was one of my favorite things to draw. And then that picture in the bottom left, that's a portrait that I did of my son for his first birthday, all right? And then on the picture on the right, that's me playing basketball. So I played Division I college basketball. And I know that's where a big part of my love of assisting others and helping people comes from, right? Now, when I was in college, man, listen, I didn't have any collectors, sales skills, you can forget about it. And then my house burned down the day after Christmas, and my family, we lost all of our art. And everything, and I lost all of my art, right? And so I became a starving artist dropout in 2007. Man, we had lost our stuff. We were like bouncing around at different family house. And as you can imagine, man, I had really low confidence at the time. it was still very difficult to sell art and try to break into the art industry. And so I became obsessed with mastering business online. Okay. And so I knew the first thing I needed was a mentor. And so I ended up writing letters to 19 multimillionaires that had internet businesses and essentially asked them to bring me onto their team and teach me how to build businesses online. And so one of the first people that responded was this gentleman named Mike Koenigs, and he hired me and we did a product launch and I helped Mike make $1,800,000 in just 7 days. All right. And I saw how fast that it could happen and it really blew my mind. And so I wrote a book about it titled How to Create Lifetime Customers. And I became a #1 best-selling business author. And so I've spoken on stages around the world, teaching people how to sell their products and services online. Okay. And I've also helped celebrities like Cynthia Bailey launch her products and services as well. And I've helped a lot of creators just like you make money. But even with this success, I still had dreams of being a full-time artist. I put me in the chat if you're working a job right now and you wish that you were doing art full-time. I just put me in the chat. All right. And so then one day I had an epiphany. I was like, man, artists that's on that, what we call that income roller coaster, that simply means you do not have a consistent flow of collector leads and sales. And I was like, what would happen if I applied those #1 best-selling internet marketing and sales principles to find art, right? And so I had a crazy plan. I see the me's coming through. What's going on? All right, photo shoot. And so I had a crazy plan. I said, I'm going to host my first art event and I'm going to set a goal to sell out the show. And so we did just that. All right, this is me standing with one of the collectors right there. Collectors in the room. They were enjoying the wine and the hors d'oeuvres. And it was just an incredible time. And we also sold a piece for $2,000. All right, type yes if you like to sell your first or next piece for $2,000 at your next event. All right, I want to see some yeses coming through. And so my friend Melissa, she's an affluent artist as well. And she was one of the artists that was at that first event. So now she posted on Instagram afterwards. She said, flashback to this dope art investors event by Sheress May. All of these pieces sold and have already doubled in value. Now, while we were at this event having such a good time, I realized we had some very real problems. All right. So first, doing it the old way, it cost me over $5,000 up front. And I knew a lot of artists didn't just have $5K to launch their own shows and events, right? But then because we were using tools like Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, taking cash, it left all of our sales disorganized. Everything was like impossible to track. Plus, we could not easily follow up with the collectors that have just spent thousands of dollars with us, all right? If you get a collector to spend thousands of dollars with you, but you can't easily follow up with their name, email, phone number to make a new offer, man, you actually leaving money on the table. And so this is what inspired the affluent artist movements. Because I couldn't find a solution, I had to create a new way for you to have 100% unlimited access to your collector's information and the tool that makes everything easy to sell art on and offline. Because as an affluent artist, you need one system that accepts payments up to $1 million. You should be able to easily sell art anywhere, in person or online. You want to be able to track your artwork, sales, and your collector's information in one place. Ideally, collectors can buy your art with one click, just like we buy on Amazon. And we want collectors to be able to track their net worth in your art so they can see when your value increases as an artist. And ideally, because I'm a business person, I want people to come to me, right? We want to bring interested collectors to you. And so back to that first art show. Now, I did not reach my goal of selling 100% of the art, but we did sell 2/3 of the art. Most importantly to me, every artist sold art and made money. And we had sales of $500, $1,500, and one artwork sold for $2,000 at that very first event. And so we took this show on the road. This is me with some friends in Miami for Art Basel. And we got invited down there to help some of the artists sell their art at these shows. All right. And the principles kept working. Okay. So they worked at the first art event. They were working down at Art Basel. And I was like, man, what would happen if we started teaching this online? Okay. And showing artists how to get collectors online. And so I put together a small group of about 10 artists, and I just started helping them with some internet marketing principles. And so Chris Smith, she was one of the first artists that we helped. And so when she came to us, she had an email list of 32 collectors. And so we sent out one email and she got 13 print sales. All right, type yes in the chat if you like to send out one email and get 13 or more print sales, like Miss Chris Smith did right here. All right, type yes in the chat and then put yes in the chat if you actually have an email list right now. Okay. Then we showed Santana how to do this. She started making some sales as well. She said, sold Money Monday. My guy Dwayne says, sold another piece of art gone like the wind. And so this was just flat out working. So artists, listen, if you struggle to sell your art, it's not your fault. I went to college for art and design up in Chicago, and I had some incredible teachers. I was really impressed with a lot of my classmates, but they did not teach you how to sell your art, how to maintain collector relationships, and how to really market yourself. Okay. And so they're not teaching us this. So if you struggle, it's not your fault. All right. And so after we started getting collectors online, I was like, man, I want to actually try to get collectors 24/7 on autopilot. But seriously, this solution was hard and expensive to create. And so I blew $30,000 in over a year hiring 2 dev teams to create artwork that didn't finish the app. All right. I invested every penny to my name, so I really thought about giving up. But I knew going back to the old way wouldn't really work for me. So I found a 3rd dev team and I tried one more time. Listen, Affluent Artist, the new artwork app and the automated collector system started working so well that many artists were selling art within 7 days. And so here's Kira. Kira was the youngest artist to sell at the time when we first launched, and she sold her art in only 19 hours. All right. And so Kira was 18 years old. She was just getting out of high school. And just show Kira some love in the chat. Like, imagine you being that young and having somebody actually guide you and help you start getting your first sale when you're right out of high school before you're going to college, right? So shout out to Kira. She's the youngest, and she has the fastest sale on record so far. And then my guy Z, Affluent Artist Z, he said, hey, team, I haven't had a chance to report on my record-breaking success this past week. He typed yes in the chat if you want to sell 7 prints and get 8 commission requests in 1 week. All right, so Z, he got his deposits for his commissions. I see the hearts flying through. All right. And then Affluent Artist Jen. Jen, she's a single mother of 4 kids, and she sold a piece in a little over 24 hours after she watched this masterclass that you're on right now, okay? So she said it took a little longer than 24 hours, but I have my first sale. It's amazing how much money I've left on the table by not following up, all right? And so if you're listening right now, and if you got past collectors, if you aren't actively marketing to them, you're leaving a lot of cash on the table, all right? And Jen, because she kept taking action on her career, this is her down at Art Basel. She sold this piece Breakthrough 2 for $5,840 to Leaders Collectors right here. All right. And then she got invited to London to learn directly from Sotheby's at the Art Institute, as the Art Business Institute of Art. Type yes in the chat if you like to go to London to learn directly from Sotheby's and Christie's on how they're selling hundreds of millions and billions of dollars worth of art every year. I type yes in the chat. Everybody should be saying yes to that. Man, really excited to have Jen as a part of our community. And y'all to get to meet her, okay? And so, artists, the truth is, after creating artwork and helping all kind of artists around the world transfer into Affluent Artists, I realized we no longer had to wait for galleries to accept us or wait on word of mouth to sell art or already have a big following on social media, all right? That old way of being a starving artist was dead, okay? And so if you want to be a full-time artist, this is your golden ticket to do that, all right? I'm excited for it. I see the yeses with all caps. Let's go. The AI Misfit, Jeff, Aaron. What's up, Aaron? All right. Now, in order to do this, I need something for you. And it's really simple. It's one word. It's belief. I would give you the solution to become a full-time Affluent Artist, but you have to believe you can and put it into action. All right. If you believe in yourself, put belief in the chat. I just put belief in the chat. Okay. Because nothing hurts me more than giving you the game, then seeing you weeks, months, or years later clinging to the same starving artist problems. Okay. And so type yes in the chat if you want to start setting sales goals, all right, setting art sales goals and exceeding those goals, like Brisha Jones. She said, for the first quarter of this year, I set a goal to make $12,000. As of today, I'm super happy to have hit 13K instead. Keep going. Motivation, Affluent Artists. All right. I see the believes coming through. Let's get it. Believe. I see you. All right. And because we started having so much success helping artists in America, some senators from the country, Barbados, they flew me in to actually help artists in that country start selling art. And so when the pandemic was around us a few years back, tourism dried up. So they stopped coming to the island and buying art. And so they brought me in to show them how they could start accessing a global marketplace of collectors to really help save the art community down in Barbados, okay? And then also BlackRock, some of you all may or may not know, that's the world's largest asset manager. They got over $10 trillion in assets. They brought me in to talk about investing in art, all right? Type yes in the chat if you like to be connected to collectors that actually look at your art as an investment, all right? They got some deep pockets, all right? $10 trillion in assets, okay? And so after 20 years in business and helping artists sell worldwide, just type yes in the chat if it's your turn to get new collectors and sell your art online, okay? Want to see some yeses coming through? All right. Let's get it. I see the yeses coming through. What's up, Jeff, Anna? All right. Now, because once you discover these 3 secrets, you'll have the keys to get new collectors online so you can accomplish your dream vision for your art. It's Art Online. What's going on? Sabrina, what's up? All right. And so If you want to get like Brescia Jones and start selling art for over $5,000, just type yes in the chat. All right, type yes in the chat. Thea Siblings, what's happening? All right, and Brescia, funny story, man. She don't sell art for $5,000. She'll sell art for $5,008. Right? She always put a little tip on the end, man. So get like Brescia Jones, okay? All right, so these are the 3 secrets to selling art online. Secret number 1, how to make your artwork speak for itself and sell for $2,000 or more on Instagram, okay? And so I told y'all I went to Art Basel. When I was down there, I was talking to all of these so-called industry experts, right? Usually when I go to big events like this, like I kind of research who's going to be there, and I got a hit list of people that I want to meet and talk to, right? Now, when I'm telling them my story and what I want to do, a lot of them were trying to discourage me. They're like, well, Sharess, no one really knows you. You dropped out of college. You only sold a little bit of art at the time. It's going to be difficult for you to sell much art, let alone for art for more than a few $100s, all right? And put me in the chat if somebody has ever tried to discourage you from your art dreams, all right? Just put me in the chat if this sounds familiar, okay? Now, if it does sound familiar, I want to let you know that I believe in your creative dreams. All right? I'm on the other side of this, and there is a new way, all right? So let's have some fun real quick and play a quick little game with me called Could You Do It Better, all right? Just type yes or no in the chat if you can do it better. I see some me's coming through, all right? Just put yes or no in the chat if you think you can do it better. I see some more me's, see some yeps coming through, all right? This piece is by Van Gogh, and it's titled Portrait of Dr. Gachet, okay? And so why is this piece famous, artists? It is the story, okay? This piece is famous because of the story. And when you create stories for your collectors, they gotta touch their emotions, all right? Make sure y'all take that note, okay? I like that Anna said different, okay? All right, it's the story, okay? And so I know a lot of us as artists, we've been taught to price our art based on time or size, right? But when you really think about it, I don't think either one of those really makes sense, okay? So think about time for a minute, right? We know as an artist, the more time you spend creating art, the faster and more efficient you get, right? And so it don't really make sense to charge less because it takes you less time. And then the same thing about size. We know wall art, like this Biggie piece behind me, can sell for more than murals on the side of buildings, right? So it ain't really about size either. The way we teach selling your art for higher prices is by creating what we call your art story, all right? That's your ART story, all right? That's an acronym. Take this note, write this down, your ART story. I'm gonna break this down for you, okay? And so I discovered this secret from my friend Melissa Mitchell at our very first live art event. And so Melissa, man, when she comes to an art show, she's very prepared. So you see, she got her beautiful pieces behind her. She got a little business postcard right there, and she creates wearable art as well. So this is her art on her head. Now, one of the things that she did that none of the other artists did, every one of her pieces had these incredible stories and like her inspiration around why she created this art, okay? And I'm watching the collectors literally on the edges of their seats listening to these stories, okay? And so this is how we sold a piece for $2,000 at that very first event. It literally was based on the power of the story. And so the collector, he had no clue who she was. And so I asked him, I was like, why did you invest? I was like, you don't follow Melissa online. You never heard of her before. You don't know anything about these big brand deals and partnerships that she has. And he simply said, Sharess, the art is great, but it was the story, okay? And so if you had this problem that I see on social media that's so common, where you are posting on social media, whether you're getting little engagement like this post, or you're getting a lot of engagements and comments, but you're not getting any sales, literally, all you have to do is add your art story, all right? So like Jasmine here, she posted in our community, she said, sold. I posted this piece that I'm still working on last night, and I sold a pre-order print 9 a.m. this morning. Gratitude, art story, and organic conversation building relationships really work, okay? If y'all follow that Jasmine sold a pre-order print before the original was complete, put pre-order in the chat, all right? Because you can pre-sell art before the originals are done. Everybody put pre-order in the chat if you understand how powerful that is. When you post on social media, you add your art story and a call to action, you can start selling pre-order prints before they're done, okay? And then type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first and next piece for over $1,000, like Miss Raquel Miller here. She was so excited when she got that first sale for $1,000. All right, and then Brescia Jones, type yes in the chat if you want to get sales for over $6,200, like Brescia Jones here, okay? And so Brescia, because she was using the power of her art story, she said, I'm really still speechless, but this is significant for a lot of reasons. One, this is the biggest and highest art piece I've ever sold. This was a $6,200 painting, and it was a 60 by 48. And so let me read what the collector said to her about what inspired them to buy the piece. So she said, my husband and I had a hard week and an already pretty messed up year. I know we're not special in any regards. Everything seems hard right now for everyone. When my husband and I saw your painting, we first both said, wow, we love that. And then we talked about how it made us feel. Hope, moving out of our comfort zone, leaving a bad year and entering a new place, fearlessness. When we read your thoughts on it as well, it just seemed like we needed it in our home. Thank you for painting this beautiful piece. It will be the conversation piece of the many meals we share with friends as we embrace a new era in the world, one of expanding fearlessness, okay? So type yes in the chat if you see the power that the art story had on this collector that made them want to buy this art at any price. I just type yes in the chat if you see the power of the art story, okay? And so let's get into this art story framework, okay? So A equals art star. Who's the art star in your art story? Every story has to have a star, okay? Every piece has to have a star. What's up, Lennox? Thank you. Art equals the role. What's the art star's role in your art story? Like, what do they want to do? What are they trying to accomplish? Who do they want to become, okay? R equals the role. And then T equals twist. What's the emotional twist in your art story, all right? And so if you like a good movie like I do, you know the best movies, they have you on the edge of your seat waiting for twists and turns. And you can use that in your visual art as well, okay? And so let's go back to this Van Gogh piece. So let me show you how they use their art story to sell this for an astronomical price at auction, okay? And so who's the art star? That's Dr. Gachet. What's his role? He's Van Gogh's doctor. But then what's the twist of Fluent Artist? The twist is the doctor may have killed Van Gogh, all right? And so y'all know people love murder mysteries. They be all in your business trying to figure out what's happening. And this story was talked about so much that when it went to auction, it ended up selling for $82.5 million, okay? All right, so I want to have some little fun and draw a little line in the sand. If you want to make, I know some of you here, you want to sell art for a couple $100,000, maybe $10,000, $100,000 or more. But if you want to make millions like Sharess, put $82.5M in the chat for me, all right? Put the money bag emojis, put the 82.5M in the chat if you want to sell millions, all right? Because I know if they can do it, we can too, because success leaves clues. I want to see who put the dollar signs, the money bag emoji. You can put the money, the tongue with the money smiley face, all right? Now, becoming an affluent artist and creating your art story allows your art to truly sell itself at higher prices. Type yes in the chat if you can see how your art story helps you sell more art. What's up, Don? All right. Photo shoot image versus studio. Beautiful. I see the 82.5M coming through. AI Misfit, Miss Anna. I type yes if you can see how your art story helps you sell more art. It's all about the power of that story, okay? And so this works for you if you are a painter, a sculptor, if you do acrylic pouring, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, drawings, ceramics, AI art, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It works for all affluent artists at all price points, okay? And so, again, my friend Melissa Mitchell, she's an affluent artist as well. Using the power of her art story, Melissa sold 100% of her available artwork at that event, okay? And it was all based on the power of the story. So make sure y'all write that down and take that note and start telling stories with each one of your pieces that you create, okay? All right, let's get into secret number 2, all right? So this is the 3 secrets of selling art online. Secret number 2, how to sell art to collectors that buy with one click on a new easy-to-use app, all right? Now, I got to tell y'all this quick story because, man, I couldn't believe what happened. And this piece right here, when I bought this, it really transformed my life as an artist and as a collector, okay? And so I live in Atlanta, and I love supporting local artists in my community. And so, man, I ended up running to one of my old friends from the College of Art and Design, and he invited me to his art show, all right? And so when I go to the show, they have these beautiful, they have 3 rooms, like beautifully set up. I see this piece right here, and I absolutely fall in love with the piece. Like, I love the colors, I love the hairstyle, I like the earrings, I like the profile, the facial expression. I thought it was really dope. And so I saw it, and then I went and found my friend, and I literally pulled out my business credit card, and I was like, man, I want to buy this piece. And the next thing he said, like, my mouth hit the floor. He was like, Sharess, I can't take your money because people usually cash at me. And when he said that, like, I couldn't believe it because he was literally turning down my money, all right? Put me in the chat if you've ever had to turn down a sale because you couldn't take the payment. I just put me in the chat, okay? And so if you turn it down money, that is absolutely the old, slow, hard, and expensive way to sell art. All right, because rule number one is get paid. Everybody put get paid in the chat. Rule number one is get paid. You got to get paid. All right. We can't be turning down money. I want you to get your cash however you can get your cash. Everybody put get paid in the chat. Want to make sure that y'all getting paid and you selling some art, okay? Now, because you can't take payments in 2026, man, we got to really step your game up, all right? I see you, Kenyatta. What's going on? If you use the tool, if you're still using Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, again, I want you to get paid, but at some price points, collectors don't want to send you a $5,000 or $10,000 Cash App. Wow, they don't get a receipt. They don't know if you're going to actually deliver. If you don't, then they can't get their money back. And so you want to start using more professional tools. If you still sell it on social media and you dropping your photo and saying stuff like email or DM me for price and you getting crickets, put guilty in the chat. All right? Put guilty in the chat. If you still dropping pictures and putting email or DM me for price and you getting ghosted. All right. What's up, Lattimore? I see you. All right. He said, get paid. I'm tired of starving. All right. That starving artist stuff is dead. All right. And then orders on paper. I ain't gonna get you to tell on yourself, but we got to step the game up if you still taking orders on paper. All right. And then applying and paying for shows. I know some artists, if you paying for shows right now and it's working for you, keep doing that. All right. I want you to double down on it, continue making that money. But some artists, man, they rent trucks, they rent vans, and they paying for these booths at these shows and they're not selling anything and they got to take everything back home. All right. That's whack. I don't want you to have to do that. Okay. And then I know sometimes y'all putting your art on these marketplaces. You're not getting any sales. You got a website. You don't know who coming. All you know is collectors not buying. Okay. And so I'm going to introduce you to Artwork because we created this so it can solve all of those problems and make it easy for you to buy your art, track everything in one place. And so collectors could buy your art with the click of a button. Okay. And so Tierra, when she added her art, she said, I just uploaded some of my original art on the app a couple of days ago. And about 30 minutes ago, got a notification that one of my pieces sold. Still in shock a bit of how quick the sale happened, but great way to end the night. Seriously, thank you, Sherez, for perfecting the app. It is definitely a game changer for us as artists, all right? So I'm going to show y'all a quick little demo of how to use Artwork so you can see how easy it is to sell your art and how simple collectors can buy your art with one click.
Hey, my name is Sherez May. I want to give you a quick demo of the Artwork app. So the Artwork app does two very simple things, all right? If you are an artist, it allows you to sell your art, get collectors all over the world, and manage all of the most important key metrics in your business. And if you are a collector, it makes it simple for you to buy art with the click of a button and track the value of your art collection, all right? And so I'm going to show you the artist side of the dashboard first, then I'll pause and take you to the collector side. So when you're logged in as an artist and you're on your sales dashboard, you'll see your gross revenue, how many pieces you sold, what's the average price, all right? And this sales graph will show you your sales over any amount of time. Right here, you can set a sales goal. If you say you set it for $100,000, if you made some sales today, that number will be in blue at the top. And this dial will show you how much you've made. We haven't made any sales today. This is our test account. And if you hover over it, you can see how many sales you made today. And it's really simple to add a new goal as well. As you start making sales, you'll see your top sellers right here. So you see it by name, how many pieces you sold in case you have prints or multiples, and you'll see how much revenue you made from each piece. Right here under your new orders tab, you'll see your latest orders. And so you stay on top of what needs to be shipped out. Down here at the bottom, you'll see your top collectors. So you'll see them by name, how many pieces they own in their collection, and how much money they've invested with you in your art business, all right? And then once you go to your artwork tab, this is where you'll see all of the art that you have listed on the site, ready for sale, and also in the marketplace for collectors to buy with one click. So let's say you want to add art. It's very simple. You click add artwork. You just have to fill out these fields right here. And once you click save, it'll save it. I'm just going to close that. If you want to email it to a collector, you can click share offer, enter your collector's email, send the offer. Email is already pre-written. They can click directly to the link and buy your art. If you like to copy a link, you can copy it as normal and send it via text message or share it on social media. And also, if you want to delete your product, it's very simple and easy to delete. As collectors begin buying art from you, you will see collectors in your dashboard. So you see all of the information right here, so you can contact with them and follow up with them and make future sales. If you click on their dashboard, you'll see a list of all of the art they purchased from you here. As your orders start coming through, you'll see your order and payment history right here. So you see if they were successful or failed transactions, all right, who bought it, the artwork, the purchase amount, and the date. And then as your money is being in transit to your bank account and deposited, you will also see your payouts here, all right? And so when you want to begin buying as a collector, all you have to do is click switch to collector, and it'll take you to the collection side of the marketplace, all right? And again, this is our test marketplace right here, but I'm going to pause for a moment to show you how simple it is to buy as a collector. So now I'm logged into the app as our test collector. And so you see when art is sold out, it'll be sold out in the marketplace, all right? And you can just scroll through the marketplace to check out all of the art that's available on the dashboard, all right? And so let's say if you want to buy something, it's very simple. You can click buy now, and if we have your card on file, you can choose which card you want to use. If you need to add a new one, you can do that. But let's say we want to select this card, we click confirm order. And it's that simple, all right? It's purchased. And so now if you want to go check your collection, you can click collection, and it'll take you to your collection. You see we just purchased this one right here, all right? So you can see all of your active collection, and as you are buying from artists, you can also see the artist that you're purchasing artwork from, all right? So I'm gonna go back to the marketplace real quick, and let's say if you wanna add it to your cart, you can add it to your cart. So you wanna get a couple in there. And you can easily check your shopping cart, go to the checkout page, and buy all of the pieces at the same time. So it's a very simple tool for artists to sell their art, and also for collectors to buy, track the value of their collection as well. All right. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Talk to you soon.
All right, type yes in the chat if you like how simple and easy it is to use artwork. All right, I see the hearts coming through. So I want to answer a couple of frequently asked questions we get. So first, artists, you can set your own price. So we like to add our art story to the description. So when the collector clicks on the product page, they get the full story. All right. Artists, once it's purchased, you will ship it directly to the collector, and you get paid fast. So sales deposit into your account in 24 to 48 hours, and artwork gets a small 10% commission. Okay. And so I love to celebrate all different kind of artists, different price points, at different skill levels. So Jen, she sold Purpose for $1,024. Tierra sold Bright Future for $175. And I absolutely love this Sky in Veil of Night by Miss Christina. Okay. And then type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first piece on artwork like Miss Magdalena. She said, I am very happy. I sold my first piece in artwork. Many thanks to my new collector. All right. She sold Natural for $1,850 on artwork. All right. And so now I've shown you how using the artwork app allows you to easily sell more art online and keep all of your prices, collector, and business info in one place. Type yes in the chat if you can see how this saves you time, money, and makes it simple to sell your art online. I just type yes in the chat if you can see how it saves you time, money, and makes it simple to sell your art online. I want to see them yeses coming through. All right, I see some yeses. What's up, Life Talk with Kids? All right, so listen, y'all, this is secret number 3, man. This is a fan favorite right here. So you haven't taken a note, please make sure you do, because I'm about to show you how to attract collectors that's spending millions on art with Sotheby's using Instagram and AI. I see the yeses coming through. All right, now after our first wave of affluent artist success, I knew I wanted to help more artists get high income collectors online with AI and online ads. And so I've seen artists struggling to make sales with their posts on social media and within these art groups, because like I know, likes do not equal money in the bank, right? Type yes in the chat if you've ever posted something on social, got a bunch of engagement, but didn't sell anything. All right, I see you, Gary, with the yes, I would. And then I love friends and family sales. Like Tierra, she sold this $2,000 piece Galactic Jellies to a friend. Mr. Emmanuel sold this $500 portrait to a sister at his local church, right? But sometimes your friends and family network and sales can run out, right? We know how that goes. And so sometimes we need to go global, all right? If you want to advertise to collectors around your state, collectors around your country, or collectors around the world, put global in the chat. All right, let me see who want to advertise to a bigger market of collectors. Just put global in the chat for me, okay? Now, because of my experience buying ads on social media, I knew there was only one place I needed to go to get ready to buy collectors, and that was Instagram, all right? Everybody got an Instagram account, okay? And so Christy, man, she was so excited. She was brand new to advertising online. She had never done this. And once she started doing it, she said, okay, I'm about to cry right now. She said, on my own way of selling, I would have gotten $200 for this piece. It would have taken me a while to even get that. So I followed the steps of this course. I made an ad. I spent only $7 and sold my piece for $700, all right? And it only took me a few hours to sell. Type cents in the chat, like dollars and cents, C-E-N-T-S. If it makes sense for you to spend $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 and sell it for $700 or more. I put cents in the chat. Whatever your price point is, let me know. Think about putting your price point and make a small investment in ads to show it to collectors globally and make $700 or more. I see you, Mr. Lattimore, with the cents. All right, because using this technique, she was brand new to this. She sold a piece for $700 in a few hours, and she made over $2,350 in her first 3 weeks just getting rolling with this, okay? And so listen, y'all, always remember, success leaves clues. If she was just getting started and she can do this, you can too, all right? So the Forbes, they posted this article that said, with Sotheby's $363.2 million sale, the art market passes the first major test of the pandemic, all right? And then Business Insider said the same. It said, for now, the art world has gone digital. And for some, that's a good thing. And for some, that's us, the affluent artists. Artsy, which is an online art marketplace, said they saw a 92% increase in e-commerce sales in April, and interest from galleries have increased by 60%, all right? So let me show y'all how we can leverage that information, man, to sell a lot of art. So I want to show you these two red boxes, okay? So we in the Facebook and Instagram ad platform, and the top red box says location, all right? So I'm in the United States. Whatever country you're in, I want you to start in the country with which you live. The shipping and logistics is going to be way easier if you do that, okay? But you can advertise to any country that has a Facebook and Instagram account. And then in the bottom red box, we see Sotheby's right there. And so type yes in the chat if it makes sense for you to target those collectors that we saw had a $363.2 million sale at Sotheby's. Just type yes in the chat if that makes sense to you, like it makes sense to me, okay? Because if they spending millions at Sotheby's, I definitely want to get my art in front of this crowd. So if that makes sense to you, like it makes sense to me, we can click that green create ad button in the top right corner, and it's going to take us to a place called detailed targeting, okay? When we get to the detailed targeting, everybody type financial in the chat. Type the word financial in the chat, all right? When we get to this detailed targeting section, we can target at Sotheby's. Once we type in that word financial, it's going to show us the top 5% of income earners that's spending millions of dollars worth of art at Sotheby's, all right? It's going to show us the top 10% of income earners that's buying millions of dollars worth of art at Sotheby's, and the top 10 to 50% of income earners that's spending millions of dollars on art at Sotheby's, okay? If this is your first time seeing this information, man, you can put wow in the chat. You can put the mind blown emoji. Let me know how you feel it in the chat. If this is your first time realizing that you can pinpoint target the collectors that's spending the most money that like brands like Sotheby's. I put wow in the chat. Let me know if you're mind blown. All right, this will transform your life if you start targeting collectors this way and putting your art in front of people that's already spending money to buy it, okay? Let me show y'all a couple more examples to really bring it home. So earlier we talked about when I was at Art Basel. So we know Art Basel, it's a big investment to go to Art Basel, right? You got to get the plane ticket. You got to get the hotel ticket. You got to get a ticket to the convention center. When you're down there, you got to spend money on food, drinks, and you got to buy the art, right? And you got to buy the art. And so Art Basel, that's a great brand for us to target. So we want to target Art Basel. All we got to do, pull it up in the detailed targeting section, type in that word financial. Now we can target the top 5% of income earners that's spending all that money at Art Basel, the top 10% of income earners, and the top 10 to 50% of income earners, okay? And then let me show y'all one more example to bring it home. So we saw the Business Insider article said Artsy had a 92% increase in e-commerce sales, right? And so type yes in the chat if it makes sense for you to put your art in front of these people that's spending all this money at art, right? This 92% increase. That makes sense to me. And so we go to the detailed targeting section and we type in that word financial. We can target the top 5% income earners that like the Artsy brand. The top 10% of income earners that's a part of that increase in spend on Artsy, right? And then the top 10 to 50% of household income earners that's spending money with Artsy, okay? I see some wows and some yeses, incredibly helpful coming through. And so when we do this, artists, now we have what I call the key to success, because these collectors have two very important things that you need when you want to sell art. So first, they have the willingness to buy art, all right? If you like Sotheby's, if you like Art Basel, if you like Artsy, I know you have the willingness to buy art, right? But then as equally important, these collectors now have the ability to buy art when we add that financial layer on top, okay? And this type of access changes everything. And so we have artists all over the world selling art with this system. And so Nisha Kapoor, she says, Sharess, your system rocks. I got another celeb lead as a result of my ads, and we spoke on the phone, and the person is willing to buy. And shout out to Nisha. She was the first artist to sell art in Indian rupees as well, okay? And then Miss Valerie, she's a senior and a grandmother. She used this. She sold over $3,205 from her ads in less than 60 days, all right? She's a senior. She was trying to figure out how to use all the technology. She's rocking and rolling. If a senior grandmother can do this, you can absolutely do this as well. And then Christy, she spent $45 on ads and made $1,400 in a day and a half. She said, I spent $45, ran an ad a day and a half. I received over 800 likes, 200 comments, 100 shares, and about 300 messages. She said, I got 14 sales and about 10 possibles. So in a day and a half, $45, 14 hours work, I pulled $1,400. Type yes in the chat if you like to flip $45 ad investment into $1,400 sales and more like Christy, okay? And then like my guy, Joe Woods, he said this happened last night, sold, all right? So Joe, he sold a $2,000 piece from his ads while he was asleep, all right? If you want to sell art overnight because you have Instagram art ads running 24/7, put sleep money in the chat for me, all right? You can put the money bed emoji, you can put the money bag emoji or the bed emoji, but put sleep money in the chat if you want to wake up to art sales because you got art ads running for you 24/7. I see the yeses coming through, all right? What's happening? And so now I've shown you how to find wealthy, ready-to-buy collectors with AI and Instagram ads. As an affluent artist, can you see yourself using this secret to get high-paying collectors? Just type yes in the chat if you know that you can do this, if they can do this, okay? Let's go. I see Latimer with the sleep money in the chat. All right, I want to see some yeses coming through. Let's go. I see with the sleep emoji. And so artists, so far you discover how to create art story to raise your prices, how artwork makes it easy to share your art via text, email, or social. You discover how to sell art to a worldwide collector marketplace, and you discover how to get collectors to buy your art with one click, and how to use that financial layering so we can target these high-income collectors, okay? And so knowing what you know now, do you feel more confident pricing your art? Just type yes in the chat. Are you happy you attended this live class today? We are live. Just type yes in the chat. And do you realize the advantage you have as an artist using these techniques? Just type yes in the chat, okay? And can you see yourself using this to sell more art? I see the yeses coming through. Just type yes. And can you see yourself getting new collectors with this system? All right, we got kids, high schoolers using this system, grandmothers using this system, artists that are just getting started with technology using this system. All right, and so artists, now you got two choices. So you can take what you learned here today. You can do this on your own. And we got some brilliant artists here. And so that's a very worthy option to pursue, all right? But choice number two, you can have us responsible for your success to help you get 10 or more new collectors every single month, all right? And let me know in the chat if this will transform your life. Like if you follow what I showed you in secret number one and use any one of your art stories so your art sells itself on Instagram, then you did what I revealed in secret number two. So you can use the artwork app to easily sell more of your art. And then you use secret number three to get access to the same high-paying collectors on Instagram that the rich auction houses and galleries attract. Type yes in the chat if you think you could be more successful. All right, I see the yeses coming through. And what if I helped you? Just type yes in the chat if you'd like to know how I can help you, okay? I see yes coming through. All right, so I want to introduce you all to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. This is a fun and easy 5-step system for visual artists to raise prices and get 10 or more new collectors every single month online, okay? And so part number one is the Affluent Artist Masterclass. So in it, we got 5 simple steps. So step number one, we call it the millionaire mindset, so we can get rid of any starving artist ways of thinking. Step number two, we call it the luxury pricing method, so we can show you how to raise your prices and charge your worth. Step number three is sold. This is where we show you our cash collector system, so you can start selling art to collectors before you invest in the ads. Step number four is collectors. This is where we show you how to create a collector community so you have lifelong customers. And then step number 5 is marketing. This is where we show you that Facebook and Instagram ads so you can target high net worth collectors with that financial layering, okay? And so here's my guy, Christian Lamar. Man, he created this piece behind him. He's one of my favorite artists. He's so talented, but he was struggling and he was really thinking about quitting. But so listen to his testimony as he shares his transformation after he became an affluent artist.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? It's Christian Lamar here, and I'm a portrait artist from VA. Now, I just want to tell y'all why I joined the Affluent Artist Masterclass. I went to a great art school and learned from some phenomenal artists, but they never taught me how to sell my work. So after I graduated, I struggled, like, to the point of almost wanting to give up on my dream of being a professional artist. Well, this course changed all of that. It showed me how to turn my art into a business, and most importantly, how to sell online. So now I can sell to anyone, anywhere. And the results are super quick. I made my first sale within 30 hours of starting the program and made just under $1,500 within the first 5 days. And now that I'm in week 4, I've made just over $4,000. And it's super easy to follow. Like, if you're like me and you're ready to fulfill your dreams of being a professional artist, give the program a shot. You also get to join a community of artists that share their experiences every day of what works. So join me and the family and become an affluent artist today. All right. Peace.
Shout out to my guy, Christian, man. So made a sale in 30 hours, 1,500 in 5 days, over $4,000 in sales in his first month. And he was thinking about quitting before, all right? So artists, this works for you. If you are a painter, a sculptor, if you do acrylic pouring, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, AI art, drawing, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It works for all affluent artists at all prices, all right? And so Miss Joy, she got a $4,000 sale in Canada. Type yes in the chat if you want to start selling art for $4,000 or more. And one thing about us, we always tell the truth about making money. And so if we don't sell it online with artwork and we get some cash, we take pictures of the cash and we post that in the group, all right? We always tell the truth about making sales. I love to see that $4,000 cash money on the table like that. And then artists, one of the biggest excuses I hear is, oh man, I need to create more art before I start selling. I got to get a portfolio together. Listen, no, you don't. Jasmine, remember, she pre-sold this Chadwick Boseman piece before it was actually done. Remember, she sold a pre-order print before the piece was done. And so you can actually pre-sale art using this process, and then you can use that money to pay for the supplies, the tools, or anything else that you need, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, and that's a $5,000 value, all right? Part number 2 is the Artwork Gold account. So I want you to imagine having an artwork account and collectors buying your art from anywhere in the world. Jen, when she sold this piece, Emergence and Power on Artwork for $2,700, she said, I'm so happy and grateful to have sold this piece. I'm going to supersize my fries tonight. And so when you get your Artwork Gold account, you'll be able to accept payments up to $1 million. You can easily sell art anywhere, in person or online. You'll be able to track your art, your sales, and your collectors' information in one place. Collectors can buy your art with one click, and collectors can track their net worth in your art, okay? And you can get rid of tools like, first, your website fees, all right? If you're paying for your website fees and you're not selling anything, you can stop paying that. Using tools like Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. Again, these are work to get in the game, but at certain price points, serious collectors don't want to send you a $10,000 Cash App with no receipt and no guarantee that it's going to get shipped, okay? If you're using tools like Artsy, Etsy, or art storefronts, paying those fees and you're not getting much sales, you can get rid of that. Shopify, Artwork Archive, Fine Art America. Again, if you're using these tools, you're not getting any sales, you can get rid of those as well. And then your most important asset is your time, all right? You can gain back that lost time that you've been trying to figure this stuff out on your own. And so as an artist myself, when I first started, I didn't know how to manage my art sales in one place, nor did I know how to track how much my collectors spent. I also didn't have a global marketplace where collectors could buy with one click. So I had to create artwork for myself, all right? And so this is going to save you time and money, because over 6 years ago, I had to spend over $60,000 in 3 years figuring out how to create an app to solve this problem. I don't want you recreating the wheel. So I'm going to give you an artwork account with this package so you can skip the cost, the trial, and the error. All right, cool? Put cool in the chat if that's cool with you. I see you said Gorgeous Pain. What's up, Sabrina? I remember Tiara, she loaded some of her art. She said in about 30 minutes, she got a notification that one of her pieces sold, and she was shocked at how quick the sale happened, okay? And so if you're not tech savvy, no problem. We design artwork to be so simple that even children could use it as well, okay? I see the cool coming through. All right, so when you join today, you're also going to get the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get your Artwork Gold account, and that's a $6,200 value when you join today, all right? And then part 3, one of my favorite parts, is the Affluent Artist community. And so we actually have a real live in-person community We're online, but we get together to do shows. We attend shows and events like we did right here. We travel together. It's a real community and network of artists that are positive, like-minded, and they help each other sell art, okay? And so we got a global network of artists and collectors that love serving and that want to see you succeed. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to our private Affluent Artist School community. And so this gives you the knowledge, community, encouragement, and the motivation you need to succeed in your art career, all right? You can access the program and the community anytime from anywhere in the world, and you get unlimited support. So 24/7 at any time, you can post a question. Someone from our team or one of the other Affluent artists will help you. And then anytime you want to talk to a real person, we have the live weekly sales session to make sure that you get all of your questions answered, okay? And then another thing that I really love about the community is we got artists that are really young in there, like Sanyu. She started when she was 9. Her mom, Miss Jovan, signed her up. You see Sanyu got her sales, she got her cash and her screenshots. And the pictures on the right, this is actually when I got a chance to meet them at a show in Atlanta right here, okay? And then we also have some senior artists in here like Miss Phyllis. She was 73 when she joined, and she made a sale in her first week, all right? And I love this because when you have strong communities, if you got people that are just getting started that you can help, and you also have people that are more skilled and older and been doing it longer than you that you can learn from, that's when you got a really powerful organization, okay? Everyone can help everybody and learn something and give at the same time. And so I want you to just imagine being a part of a community of artists that help you 24/7. So Sean, he's a photographer. He said, lesson learned, follow up every time. You never know why somebody ghosts you. I thought maybe my price was too high for her and she was gone for good. Don't make up your own stories as to why they didn't call back. Just follow up and be polite, all right? That's a lot of wisdom right there, man. All right, and so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account, and you're going to be able to join the Affluent Artist community. That's a total value of $7,400, all right? Now, artists, if all this did was help your art tell stories so your artwork truly sold itself, type yes in the chat if that would help your art career. I just type yes in the chat. And if all this did was help you easily sell your art online in any economy, like how would that help your art career? If you could be selling your art online full time, regardless of the economy, all right? And if all this did was help you get an infinite amount of high paying collectors following you and buying your artwork, like how would that transform your art career? Let me know in the chat. I see the yeses coming through. Now, artists, we're putting this together. I had two choices. My first option, I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, but that wouldn't really incentivize me to really stack the value, okay? The second option, it requires a little higher investment, but in exchange, we can devote more resources to guarantee your success. And so type yes in the chat if you want to start selling art for over $10,000. Like Isha sold this custom commission right here. Just type yes in the chat. And so when you start using these systems and targeting high-income collectors and setting up the automated collector system, these are some of the kind of outcomes that artists are experiencing. I type yes in the chat. Everybody should be wanting to sell for over 10,000 or more, okay? And so you got to ask yourself, like, what are your dreams really worth to you? Because if you were making money every day because you were successfully selling your art to collectors on Instagram, what would that be worth to you? All right. And then how much would you pay to have one automated collector system sell your art online 24/7? Because you can see why artists have paid $10,000 for similar results for me. Because when you do business with us, it's not a cost, it is an investment. All right. And so you see why it's worth $10,000. We got artists selling art for more than $10,000. And even at $5,000, that's a great deal. Brisha Jones selling art for $5K. Jen selling art for $5K. A lot of artists were selling art for $5,000 or more, all right? And because you watched this masterclass and I want to help as many artists as possible, I'm going to give you a very special offer, okay? So when you go to affluentartist.com, you won't have to invest anywhere near $5,000. Now, normally if we give a deal, sometimes we'll do 30% off, and that's $3,500. You won't have to invest anywhere near that today. When you go to affluentartist.com, we got a special 94% off for only $9.99 when you enroll at affluentartist.com, all right? And we also got a partnership with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna, so you can get started for as little as $47.96 per month, all right? So you literally can use the buy now, pay later option to get started for less than $48 a month when you go to affluentartist.com, all right? If you need help ordering, text JOIN to our team at 470-777-7549, all right? And so again, when you go to affluentartist.com, you can use the buy now, pay later options. And if you use Klarna, they got 24 payments for $47.96, all right? There's a lot of different payment options, but that one is the most affordable, and a lot of artists use that to enroll into the program. All right, so get signed up at affluentartist.com. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. All right, artists. And now, if you're tired of putting time and skill into your art, only for buyers to continue lowballing the true value of your art, I have some very special bonuses for you, okay? So artists that get signed up tonight, you're going to get bonus number 1, the luxury pricing method, all right? And so Christy, when she started using the luxury pricing method, she was a single mom when she watched this class that you're on right now, and she made $1,350 in the first 5 days, all right? And so listen to what she said. She said, holy smokes, I reached out to an old friend and supporter of my art and landed a $1,000 mural job. The system works. I was thinking of asking $800, was hoping for $600, but I boldly asked $1,000 and she didn't hesitate, all right? And so she was just using this, man, and she sold a $1,000 piece and covered the investment of the program in the first week, all right? And then Jen, she used the luxury pricing method to sell Breakthrough 2 for $5,840. She just put the crying emoji down here, right? She was just super, super excited. And then Brisha Jones, we talked to you about how she was speechless because she used the luxury pricing method in her art story to sell this piece for $6,200. And it was the biggest piece at the time and the highest piece that she had ever sold, okay? And so just imagine your confidence skyrocketing because your art story has collectors emotionally invested in buying your art at any price. This is your new reality when you become an affluent artist at affluentartist.com, all right? When you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get the Artwork Gold account, and you're going to get access and become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get that luxury pricing method bonus, all right? That's an $8,400 value, okay? Bonus number 2 is our automated collector system. So this is a pre-built website template that helps you get collector leads 24/7 on autopilot, okay? All you got to do is add your art, your words, and your videos. Collectors will come to you looking to buy your art. They give you their name, email, phone number, and their home or business address so you can follow up with them and sell their art. This is pre-built for you. It's already done. And these are the kind of results that artists are getting with this automated collector system, all right? Miss Anitra, she posted, she said, it's achievable, I promise. She said, I've always known anything is possible if you believe and do the work. Well, let me say this. Last week on the sales call, I had 277 leads from my Facebook ad, and today I have 468 collector leads. That's almost 200 new collector leads in 7 days. Sherez, thank you, sir, right? And so she was just blown away at how fast collectors were coming to her, asking her about buying her art once she set up this automated collector system. And so we know many artists suffer from feast or famine income where you sell art some months, and some months you don't sell art at all, right? Because you don't have people coming to you. But I spent years investing time and money testing which art ads and sales pages work best to turn clicks to collectors so you can have collectors coming to you 24/7. And so we get an endless flow of new interested collector leads joining your email list and buying your art 24/7. This gives you predictable cash to grow your art brand and collector community while sales come in at the same time, okay? And so Christy, when she set up her automated collector system, remember, she spent $45 on ads and made $1,400 in a day and a half. All right, type yes in the chat. If you like to run an ad, get over 800 likes, over 200 comments, over 100 shares, and over 300 messages from collectors that's looking to buy your art. I type yes in the chat. And so again, if you already have a website, if it's not selling how you like it, you can keep it. You know, if you put your blood, sweat, and tears in it, or if you're tired of paying for it, you can get rid of it. All right, it's cool with us. Either way, you can use ours to get new collectors coming to buy your art every day like clockwork when you enroll at affluentartist.com. I see the yeses coming through, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get your Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get the luxury pricing method bonus and that automated collector system bonus, and that's a value of $9,600 when you enroll at affluentartist.com, all right? And then bonus number 3, you're going to be able to find your high-income collectors with me on Instagram, okay? We're going to show you exactly how to find your high-income collectors and set up your art ad so you do it right the first time, okay? And so many artists, they struggle to get exposure to collectors that can afford their art at the price you think it's worth. But I spent over $250,000 on Instagram ads figuring out the best way to target buyers with money. And so you get instant access to what's working now with Instagram ads and AI, okay? And so I showed you how we could target brands like Sotheby's that's making millions on art every single year. We can get in front of their collectors, put that financial layer in, target the top 5% of income earners that's spending millions at Sotheby's through the top 10 to 50% of income earners that's spending millions, okay? And so this is going to allow you to get exposure to collectors with disposable cash. You'll be able to leverage AI to target the best collectors for your style, and you can predictably get new collectors 24/7 with your ads, as your art ads are running around the clock, okay? And so when you start targeting these high-income collectors, you can start testing out prices for your art and your commissions like Jen here. So she said, I got another deposit for a commission of $4,369 commission. I just threw out a random number, and they said, can they pay it in 3, okay? And then Jasmine, when she wanted to go full-time, she needed to make $5,000 for the month. She started implementing the automated collector system, and she ended up making $5,527 in the first week, all right? She said, I've been going through the inner circle with Sherest, and it is gold. Having that accountability in small group, I always imagined but never realized it could actually happen. Keep doing the work, all right? It just flat out works, okay? And so artists are using this to make sales every day. So like my guy Dwayne with that sale, Mr. Sean right here with a $600 sale, Miss Valerie and Miss Phyllis, they were both over 50 years old when they started, right? So you're never too old to get started. They making sales, they feeling blessed. And then we also have a in-person experience in Atlanta, Georgia called a $1 Million Artist Mastermind, all right? And that's a $25,000 investment for artists that want to go through the process to become a millionaire with their art, okay? But because you're joining today and you're accessing our team online, you can join for a fraction of that. You literally can join for less than $48 when you go to affluentartist.com and use the buy now, pay later option, okay? And so if you were to go back to art school or to try to hire an online marketing agency or attempt to get a gallery to sell your work to collectors for you, like it might cost you $100,000 in tuition, over 50% of your profits, or years of your life trying to figure this stuff out on your own, all right? But you can skip all of that, save the tuition, keep most of your money when you become an affluent artist at affluentartist.com. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. If you got a question, type your question in the chat, okay? And so artists, even if you finance it with Klarna, that's only $1.60 per day to start selling your art online, all right? That's like a breakfast sandwich at McDonald's. It's really inexpensive when you use the buy now, pay later option at affluentartist.com, okay? And so artists, as we close here, you got a question, type your question in the chat, all right? You got 2 choices. You can do this on your own, and that's a worthy option to pursue. I know we got some brilliant artists here on the call today, but if you want our team to be responsible for your success, to help you get 10 or more new collectors every month, enroll and join our team at affluentartist.com, okay? And also, we're so confident in our ability to help you get new collectors every single month. We back it with a 110% money back guarantee, all right? So when you sign up now at affluentartist.com, if the affluent artist, for some odd reason, does not help you sell more art and get more collectors, you'll have 2 options. Option number 1, you follow the steps. For whatever reason, you don't like getting collectors on autopilot, you decide it's not for you, and you can win 110% of your money back. Option number 2, you say, Sherest, no, I really want to grow as an affluent artist. I want to go through the process, and I want you guys to really hold my hand and help me get 10 or more new collectors every month. Sign up below at affluentartist.com right now, okay? Now, why do we do this? We do it for a very selfish reason. That's because I know that it is a win-win, all right? This makes it a no-brainer for you to join, and I know we can help you succeed because we run the same process with every single artist, okay? And so when you sign up, I know for a fact one of these 2 things will happen. 1, you will get 10 or more new collectors every single month. 2, you'll win $1,100 from us just for trying it out, okay? Now, there are a few qualifications to get the 110% money back guarantee. So first, you got to earn the 100% completion by watching the Affluent Artist Masterclass. Number 2, you have to take action on the Affluent Artist Masterclass. All right, we want you to attend the live sales session every week so we can answer your questions and make sure that you're not sitting at home stuck. And most importantly, we want you to sell art, right? Use what you learn to sell art, okay? And then share your results on social media. And so when you become an affluent artist, your profit is really guaranteed, all right? Because option number 1, you follow the steps. If for whatever reason you're getting too many collectors, you decide it's not for you, you can win your money back. Option number 2, you decide you want to grow as an affluent artist, and our team will personally help you get 10 or more new collectors every single month when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? All right, so the real question is it worth taking a few minutes to check this out? Because even if it does half of what I say today, it'll pay for itself as soon as you sell 1 painting for $1,000, okay? And so you're really just 1 collector away from really transforming your life and your art career. When you get one high income collector, man, they refer you to other ones. They buy pieces over and over again. You're really one collector away from really transforming your life, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get your Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses, all right? We're going to give you that luxury pricing method so you can charge your work. We're going to get you the automated collector system so we can bring collectors to you 24/7 from your Instagram ads. And you're going to be able to find your collectors with me and set up your art ads so we can target those high income collectors that's already spending millions on art, okay? So that's a total value of over $10,600. You can join for a fraction of that when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549, and our team will call you once we get off, all right? Now, artists, if you see this blank white screen right here, this is intentionally blank because this is an editing marker, all right? I put this here so our team knows to cut out what I'm about to say next, all right? Because you are on live right now, when you enroll before the end of this class, all right, for the artists that buy live, I'm going to give you a free lifetime Artwork Gold account, all right? That's a $1,200 a year value. Normally it's $99 a month, but it's going to be free for you forever when you join before the end of this live class, okay? You can upload unlimited amounts of your art. You can access collectors globally, and many artists use this to sell art within the first 7 days, all right? And so you saw how fast Tierra sold her art. So she got a notification within 30 minutes. And so you just one collector away. So artists that buy live before this class is done, when you enroll at affluentartist.com, you're going to have a free lifetime artwork account, all right? So artists, get started now, all right? When you enroll today, you have a special 94% off for only $9.99. But again, we have partnerships with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna, and you can get started for only $47.96 per month. All right, so you literally can get started for less than $48 if you use the buy now, pay later option. And so when you get started today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account. You'll become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method bonus. You're going to get the automated collector system bonus. And you're going to be able to find your collectors with me by setting up your art ads so we can target those high income collectors, all right? That's a total value of over $10,600. We got a special 94% off for only $9.99. You get lifetime access when you enroll at affluentartist.com, all right? Again, we got partnerships with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna, so you can use the buy now, pay later option on the checkout page to get started for as little as $47.96 per month, okay? And so artists are using this to make sales every single day. So like Missy Vaughn, she sold Spidey Senses to this little collector right here. Diana, she said happy Friday when she getting paid. My man Dwayne got another $412 sale right there. Blue Robin, he posted his first sale. Mr. Bill, he said he just got paid, all right? So now at this point, I see a lot of you have signed up, and that really makes me happy. Congratulations to all the artists that joined. Many of you are still here, though, and I can tell you're getting ready to sign up, but maybe you have a question you need answered first before making that decision. So let's address those questions in the time we have left. If you got a question, please type your question in the chat. I'm going to be here as long as we have questions to answer, okay? And let me put this on the chat for you guys so we can pin that, make that easy for you. All right, we pinned the link in the chat as well. All right, so some artists want to know, what if I already have a website? So listen, if you aren't making sales on your website, you can get rid of it and save that money, all right? But you can send all of your collectors to Artwork and use our automated collector system so you can eliminate hosting costs and those monthly fees, okay? Do collectors need an Artwork account? So collectors can buy as a guest, but we encourage them to get an Artwork account so they can track their art collection, okay? How do I afford the investment? So that's a great question. Many artists afford the investment in a lot of different ways, but one of the things that they do is they actually use secret number one, the art story, when they start sharing their art on social media. And that's something that you can start doing today, okay? Today, tomorrow, whenever you wake up. So remember, Jasmine, she was still working on the original Chadwick Boseman piece, but she sold pre-ordered prints before the original was done. So a lot of artists start selling their art to get the investment for the program, okay? How do I make the time? So Brisa Jones, she asked that question as well. So Brisa was a single mom, 2 kids, and she was really struggling to figure out how to make the time. And so she actually applied what we call our morning success block, which is essentially waking up an hour or 2 earlier and working on your art business the first thing in the morning with the best, most refreshed version of yourself, okay? So when you wake up first thing in the morning and work on your dreams, you're going to be amazed at how much progress that you take, right? But contrast that with waking up, taking care of your friends or your family, going to work, taking care of your boss, dealing with your employees and coworkers. And then you come home when you're tired, you're sluggish, you're hungry. And now you're giving like the most worn down version of yourself to your career, all right? You can make progress like that, but it's going to take a lot longer versus if you do the morning success block and you wake up before everyone else, okay? Some artists want to know, can I do this from anywhere in the world? Absolutely. All right. So I'm in the United States. Miss Joy is in Canada. And you see she got this $4,000 cash on the table right here. All right. And so as long as you got Wi-Fi and an internet connection, you can absolutely do this anywhere in the world. Okay. Anna says, after buying the program, do you have to keep paying for advertising? Yes, Anna, every artist pays for their own marketing because you get and keep all of your collectors. Okay. What if I'm just getting started? I think that's a great place to be, man. And I actually think if you're just getting started, you are probably worlds ahead of artists that got a lot more skills selling art in other ways. Why? Because you don't have any bad habits to unlearn. And so one of my favorite stories to illustrate how powerful and easy it is to just get started. So Tierra, when she became an affluent artist, she started selling art and she really inspired her kids, right? And so her children were 7, 5, and 2 years old when they started. And they wanted to make $500 selling art. And so she taught them how to make profit. She taught them about finances, creating a mission, buying supplies, setting goals, creating their art stories. And these kids went out and sold over $500, man, when they were 2, 5, and 7 years old, okay? And so that's just a powerful story about how you're never too young to get started with this. Some artists want to know, is the process too hard or technical? So listen, there is some technology involved, but Miss Valley, when she was 68, she sold over $10,000 in the first 4 months. She said, I'm feeling blessed. Everything's falling in place. The program worked. All right. She said she had to learn some new to me apps, but we hold your hand every step of the way. Okay. And so like with Miss Stacy, when she was on this class that you're on, she was having some financial issues as well. And she knew that she wanted to join. Right. So she decided that she was going to get the resources. Okay. Because you got to get the resources or be resourceful to figure it out. And so she figured out how to be resourceful to get the investment that she need. And she said, yes, it worked. She was so excited. She said, I made a call to a friend that said she wanted these paintings when they're done. I called her and told them they are done. She could buy one for $250 or 3 for $600. And she took all 3. All right. So, and another thing that starts to happen, like when you surround yourself with a community of winners, that winning begins to rub off on you. So Miss Stacy, she went from like stressing over figuring out how she was going to join the program. She decided to be resourceful. She figured out how to get the money to make the investment. And the next thing she knows, she is debuting her art at brand new hotel openings, right? So she had an exhibit at Hotel Phoenix in Arizona when it first opened. And so she went from struggling to doing shows at hotels, man. And that's the transformation that can happen when you become an affluent artist, okay? Some artists want to know, is there too much competition? So listen, absolutely not. Man, in addition to being an artist, I'm a collector. And if you look around my place, I got art all over the walls from all different type of artists because I like a lot of different styles. And so if you know collectors, man, there's more than enough abundance for all of us to sell art and to sell multiple pieces over and over again, okay? What is the artwork commission? All right, so artwork only gets 10% per sale. And more importantly than that is you get to keep all of your collectors' data. So I know sometimes when you do business with galleries and dealers, they'll often take 25 to 50% of the sale, and they don't want to give you their collector's information because they don't want you to go around them and so they miss their cut, right? So we actually only get 10%, and we give you your collector's information because we want you to build a lifelong relationship with your collectors, okay? What budget do I need for ads? So you can get started with as little as $5 per day, okay? It's really inexpensive to get started. I showed you how Christy spent $7.53. She sold a piece for $700 or more. Now, with the budget, though, you can start with as little as $5 a day. But once collectors start coming to you and buying your art, you want to spend more money on ads to continue to grow your art business, okay? I see another one. See, Ms. Anna said about how much do you have to pay monthly on advertising? So, yeah, you can start with $5 a day. That's like what? Like $150 a month that I would budget, $150 to $300 a month if you want to do $5, $10 a day to test out multiple ads at one time, right? It's very inexpensive to get started. Great question, Ms. Anna. And so artists, listen, as we close out, if you got a question, type your question in the chat. Listen, I know, man, being a full-time artist absolutely beats working a 9 to 5. When Mia started selling art full-time, man, I remember when she sold this $2,000 commission to this collector, they commissioned like this beautiful like balloon, this heart balloon piece for the 2-year-old bedroom. And I remember she posted when she got $1,000 painting. This was a really, really cool project. And so, man, when you start selling art, you can often make more money with one piece than you make in a whole month working on your job, right? That don't happen all the time, but it's absolutely possible when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? And so, man, it's also about that community support. Like if you're an artist, a lot of times we're working by ourselves in our own little silos, and we're not really connected with other people in the industry. But when you get around people that are focused on selling art, they're focused on winning, and they want to help you because they understand that there's more than enough for all of us to win, that really starts to help you transform into a successful artist. And the other really cool thing that happens is like you get these friendly little competitions that form, right? Because it'll be like, man, if they can sell art and they style, and whether you think you're better than them or not, it's like you just get inspired. You're like, hold up, if they can do it, I can do it, right? And so that's powerful when you associate yourself with winners. They share the winning and everyone continues to sell more art, okay? And so listen, if you've been Googling stuff, looking on YouTube, Instagram, buying books, reading magazines, trying to figure out how to sell your art online, you know information alone is not enough, right? You need a team. You need mentorship. You need a step-by-step process to follow. You need to know the right tools and technology to get, right? You need a community that encourages you when you having bad days, and we keep helping you just move right along and stay focused on your career. And so if you're ready to get booked and busy like Toya, when she posted this sold post, go to affluentartist.com and enroll right now. All right. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. All right, artists, as we close out again, ask your questions. One of the big questions that you got to ask yourself, though, is do you want money or do you want excuses? All right, because we cannot have both. You got to decide. Do you want to invest into yourself so you can really start making some money with your art career? Or do you want to hold on to the same excuses and reasons why you can't invest into yourself and stay stuck and stay in the same spot, okay? And so my guy, Jonte, decided that he wanted money. And so when he joined, he got the tools and the resources he needed to sell this $2,000 lamb piece to this lovely collector couple right here, okay? And so I want y'all to really calculate the true cost of inaction as well, all right? Because just procrastinating and staying in the same place, like that's not free, all right? So like what if this helped you start selling just one piece per week? Whatever your price point is, what if you could start selling one piece per week? Would that be worth $1.60 per day? Right? Of course it is. Even if you're selling just $100 piece per week, that's absolutely worth that. But what's the true cost of inaction? Right? What's the cost of not making any sales in June? What's the cost of not making any sales in July? What about if you don't make any sales in August? What about if you keep that pace up and you're not really making the sales in the holiday season that's coming up, right? We're only a few months away. You need to be planning for that, right? If you miss another year of holiday sales. So you got to ask yourself, all of that lost revenue, like, is it really worth missing months of art sales because you're trying to save $1.60 per day? All right. Because if you follow just one of the steps I shared on today's event, you can make a profit in the first week when you become an affluent artist at affluentartist.com. All right, Miss Anna, no, you do not have to advertise immediately. Great question. We actually show you how to sell art for free so you have the money that you need to advertise and pay for that investment, okay? So we can show you how to start selling art for free using your current assets, your current network, your current social media following, your current email list, or whatever you have. Great question, okay? And I actually prefer y'all to start selling art for free before you start spending money on ads, okay? Also, a lot of artists, they ask their family and friends to become their investors, okay? So like Miss Valerie and Miss Kelly. Miss Kelly, she sold art the first week in the program. In my experience, family and friends are more open to help you when they know that you have a plan to help to sell your art, right? Versus you just like winging it, okay? Also, PayPal credit has a great credit option. If you go to paypal.com/credit, you can apply with the PayPal credit line today, okay? And then PayPal, they have a great program. So they have no payments plus no interest if you pay it in full in 6 months. And so you can join the Affluent Artist, become a masterclass and become an Affluent Artist today. You got 6 full months to go through the program, start selling art, and then you can use some of that sales revenue to pay PayPal back and thank them for investing into your business, okay? And then again, also we have the buy now, pay later options when you go to affluentartist.com. you can enroll with Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. Klarna has one of the most affordable plans for 24 payments of $47.96 per month. It's a really, really inexpensive way to get started. I'm so grateful for the partnership with them because it's allowing a lot of artists to get enrolled into the program so they can start using these tools to get collectors and bring collectors to them with that automated collector system, okay? And so you can enroll right now at affluentartist.com. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549, and our team will help you as soon as we finish this call, all right? So again, artists, the time is now, all right? We're so excited to have you in the program. Like Miss Raquel West, when she joined and got some wisdom, man, she was so excited. She said, so often I have been told that my prices are too high, and after so much time and money spent on coaching and marketing, trying to find my target audience, I was still struggling to make the high ticket sales that I wanted. After connecting with Sherez and noting and actively implementing the wisdom that I learned without negotiation or hesitation, this collector purchased this piece at my $1,200 asking price. I am beyond grateful for the knowledge and the quick turnaround. All right. So artists, let's accomplish your dreams together, because I know, man, when you out here doing this on your own, the struggle with selling your art is real. Like, I'm an artist as well. I get it. But when that's gone for your life, like, how will you feel? How much lighter will you feel? How much better will your life be? Let me know in the chat, like, how much stress is working a job and never having enough money causing your mind and your body right now? Let me know in the chat. Y'all talk to me. Because after you join, that's gone. It's like poof. All right. Let me know if you can feel the difference. Because it starts by going to the link below and joining now at affluentartist.com. All right. So I'm going to come out. I'm going to walk you through the checkout process. And let me take you to the checkout process, the page right here. All right. So when you go to affluentartist.com, it's going to bring up our order form. It says, yes, Sherez, I'm in. All right. Somebody asked in the comments, how much time do you have to get this offer? So this offer is available for a little bit over 72 hours before this 94% off offer expires. All right. Again, for artists that buy while we still live, you're going to get some very special bonuses, but you can take advantage of the offer. You got a little bit longer than 72 hours. All right? It expires Friday night at midnight, okay? And so we're going to recap the offer here. We covered 110% money back guarantee, and all you got to do is add your name, your email, your phone number, your address, and choose your payment option, okay? We got the Fluent Artist Masterclass, the 94% off bonus, and some artists like to have one-on-one help. We have that as an option too, okay? And also, if you want to have a one-to-one fast sales success call with our team, all you got to do is check that box, and you can talk to our team to have your own one-on-one fast sales custom-made call, okay? And then when you join down here, you can choose PayPal as your payment option. And then you can also put your credit card in, your credit or debit card, all right? So put in your 16-digit card number, your month and your yearly expiration, put in your 3-digit CVC code, put in your zip code, and then you can click join now, all right? If you want to choose Klarna or Afterpay, you can do those as well. So you see Klarna, when we click learn more, they have 24 payments. It's only $47.96 per month. It's a very, very affordable plan. They got a lot of different plans, but that's the most affordable one. So you literally can join for less than $48 when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? We're so excited to have you in the program, all right? And so artists, get started now. Again, at affluentartist.com, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses as well. We got the luxury pricing method bonus. We had an automated collector system to bring collectors to you 24/7, and you'll be able to find your collectors with me. We'll set up your art ads together to make sure that you're doing it correctly, so you can target those high-income collectors that's already spending millions on art, okay? And so that's a total value of over $10,600. You can join today for a special 94% off of only $9.99 when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. Again, also, we have partnership with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna. So you can get started for as little as $47.96 per month. So you can get started today for less than $48 when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. Artists, if you got a question, type your question in the chat. I'll stay here as long as we have questions. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549, and our team will help you after the class, okay? If you got a question, let us know in the chat. Type your question in the chat. And we look forward to seeing you on this side, inside. Congratulations to all the artists that joined. We're excited to see you inside. All right. When you join, make sure you check your email for your receipt and your welcome email that's going to give you access to the full program and the community. Okay. If you don't see the email, check your spam folder, move that to the primary inbox. All right. All right. We're excited to have everybody join. I see we got a lot of artists signing up to this evening. Excited to have you all inside the community. All right. If you got a question, type your question in the chat. If you don't have a question, we're going to get up out of here. Okay. But type your question in the chat. Let us know how we can help. Okay. Type your question in the chat. If we don't have any questions, we're going to get up out of here. All right. I'm going to do one last recap. I don't see any questions. So again, artists, man, I love doing this live. Get started now. You got a little bit more than 72 hours to join and get enrolled. When you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account. You're also going to become a member of the Affluent Artist community. All right. You're going to be able to get that luxury pricing method so you can raise your price and charge your work. You get that automated collector system so you can bring new collectors to you 24/7 from Instagram ads. And then bonus number 3, you'll be able to find your collectors with me. All right. We set up your art ads. Make sure you're targeting those high income collectors so you can put your art in front of people that's spending millions of dollars on art. Okay. And so that's a total value of over $10,600. We got a special 94% off for only $9.99 when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. We also have a partnership with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna. So you can get started for as little as $47.96 per month when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. All right. I don't see any other questions. Peace and much love to everybody. We're excited to have you in the program. When you join, make sure you check your email for your receipt and your welcome email so you get access to everything in the Affluent Artist Masterclass. Get access to the community and get access to your Artwork Gold account and all of those bonuses. Okay. Again, that's a total value of over $10,600. We got a special 94% off for only $9.99. If you enroll with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna, you can get started for as little as $47.96 per month when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. Peace and much love to everybody. Excited to help all of the artists that enroll. See y'all next time.